are going to be making a smoked catfish roll-up, and on the inside of that roll-up is going to be a very delicious herby cream cheese mixture. So we're going to start on that first. What we've done already is take out 1.5 blocks of cream cheese to let it be room temperature for a little while, get it nice and soft. To that we're going to add some diced jalapeno for just a little bit of warmth. We're also going to add some capers, because fish and capers are best friends. So we're going to add that. We're also going to throw in a mixture of herbs. This has got some parsley, it's got some cilantro, some dill, all the good stuff. Gonna add some freshness in there. And for more freshness, we've got some lemon juice, because you need a little bit of acidity to cut the richness of the cream cheese. And then the last thing we're gonna add is a little bit of rub, a little season up in here to round it out. Make sure that we're seasoning that fish from the inside out. And then we're just gonna mix it all up. And if need be, you can even get rid of your mixing spoon. And that's why we have our gloves on, so we can just go in here, get it all incorporated with our hands. And then we're gonna work on our fish. All right, so what we're gonna be doing is essentially butterflying some delicata catfish, which is essentially a catfish steak off a bigger fish. So what we're gonna do is we are going to lay this down and gently put our hand over the top so we can guide that blade down on a parallel. And we're gonna get almost to the end and we're gonna flip it on out. If I can find my end. Where did it go? Hang tight, I think we lost a little. We lost over here. And then we're just gonna flip it out, and that'll give us a lot of surface area for our filling to sit on, and then we're gonna roll it on up. So now we're just gonna repeat this process on our other steaks. And this is Simmons Delicata Catfish coming out of Yazoo County. And we're just gonna follow this down, and then we're gonna flip it on out. The thing about this Victorinox knife is that because it's a boning knife, it's got a little bit of flex in that blade, but it's thin enough that it's gonna work its way through this fish and not have too much give to where it slips and, you know, moves around and makes it dangerous. So now we're just gonna take our little butterflied fish, and we're gonna season it. So we're gonna do that with a little bit of our barbecue rub. You can use any all-purpose seasoning, but this rub is great because it's got garlic and paprika and a little bit of red pepper for warmth, but it's not too spicy hot. And it's just great for anything really, but also for fish. And we're gonna add to that just a little bit of brown sugar. And that's gonna complement the lemon that we put in our filling material and add just a little bit of sweetness, and it's gonna help it caramelize. So now we're just gonna rub that in. And then we're gonna move into filling them. And as with anything that you're filling, you want to leave one end a little bit short, because when you start to roll it this direction, that filling pushes out, and we don't want to have too much of a mess with this. So we're going to work on having this nice and stuffed in there. And then once we get a good little bit in there, we're going to start rolling it. And I like to go from the skinny end to the fat end just to keep everything nice and contained. So the fish that we're using here is catfish, but of course you could also go with a salmon or really any fish that I would say has like a big flake to it. You need something that's a little bit firm, that way it can hold up to the fact that we're rolling it and then smoking it for a little while. You don't want to go with anything that's too delicate, but something like a cod would work, or halibut would go great. Just for the halibut, throw some halibut in this dish. Redfish, if you're a Gulfie, you know, really anything works great here. All right, so now we're gonna roll this one up. Halibut. If you would make a fish stick out of it. Right. So you can leave it at this point, or you can slice it in half, which is what we're gonna do just so we have a little bit more manageable size pieces. And it takes a little bit less time to cook. So we're just gonna turn our little roll to the side, and we're gonna slice it right in half and get ready for a beautiful presentation. We are gonna be laying down a little baking mat here on our grill. That way we can make sure that we don't lose any of our fish to the grates. And then we're gonna lay down some citrus as a little bed, because you know, flavor on top of flavor on top of flavor. We like to layer it here. Also, it's gonna help protect our fish so it doesn't get too done too quickly. And then we're gonna transfer our little roll-ups over here onto our grill pan. And now we're gonna lid it up for a little bit and let that get to marinate. So our next step is gonna be to glaze this fish. And this is just equal parts spicy brown mustard and honey. You could also sub Dijon or whole grain, whatever mustard you like. So we're gonna take this off. Look how beautiful. And now we're just gonna spoon this over. And also the benefit of adding a little honey to this is that it's gonna caramelize and make it just a little bit more beautiful, as if it needs any more cosmetics. I wish you guys could smell-o-vision this, because between this delicious shrimp butter smell and all of this that's going on over here, it is to die for. And you can see that we have some of our fish over here that's getting a little bit white and flaky, and that's exactly what we're looking for. We are continuing to rotate this baking sheet around just to make sure that we have an even cooking going on here. And in not too long, we're gonna have winter fish dinner. So we're just going to give this a little rotation. That way, we don't have anything cooking too hot on one side or the next. And that is the beauty of having something like this baking mat down, because you can just move it all at once.
Plus too, your glaze, if you notice, is seeping in,
Yeah.
looking good.
Yeah, we're definitely getting a little bit of a poach effect here with our citrus juices coming out, all of our cream cheese is marrying, and now our glaze is adding to our poaching liquid. It's pretty fancy stuff. All right, these are looking absolutely delicious. While you were away, I went ahead and heated a little bit more of our honey mustard drizzle, just so we can have that as a dressing option. Because one way you can serve this is a little bit upscale by just having a little bit of Bibb lettuce as a little bed here. So we're gonna lay that out. We've also got some other fixins for a salad, but we're gonna do our fish first. So we're just gonna grab one of these pinwheels and we're gonna very gently, hang on, I'm going underneath it. We're gonna very gently transfer this over onto our plate. And that's gonna wilt our salad just a little bit. It's gonna be delicious. Now we're gonna go ahead and add a little bit of tomato. And you can see we've got a delicious flake coming apart here on this fish. So it is perfectly done. We're gonna do some cucumbers. Oh, it's assembling. Some cucumbers. A little bit of sweet pepper, just for color. And we're gonna go back to these flavors that are inside our stuffing, and we're gonna add just a couple of capers and some fresh herbs. Tie it all together with our honey mustard dressing over here.
I've been watching this happen from the very beginning.
And you're a little hungry.
I'm a lot hungry.
Okay.
I mean, look at me. I mean, do I not look hungry? Of course I look hungry. And I need to try a bite of this.
I think we can find you. Well, you can use our
yes,
spoon. Okay. I don't think he's going to be able to wait on that
I'm out.
fork.
No, I'm not waiting on it.
Now, if you want to go a little bit less fancy, feel free to break out your crackers. But Craig, tell me how this fancy works. Is it everything you wanted and dreamed of? He's a little spiritual. You're gonna have to give him a moment.
Yes, this is awesome. I mean, the honey mustard with the sweet that comes in there with the dill,
just punches it
the
through.
Cheese. I mean,
yes.
Oh, and then the texture of the fish is soft, and then you got the texture of the cucumber, and the tomato is crunchy.
A little crunch.
It meets.
So how do you think I did?
If I was rating it 1 to 10, I'd rate it a 50.
Hey, I'll take it.